If I were to talk to a plant manager right now and they'd ask me about this AI chatbot technology, I'd tell them, number one, you must get this technology in front of your people. This is production operators, middle managers such as QC managers and production supervisors, any of your directors of operations, and the plant managers themselves. Why? Because your competition is already getting that technology, and it actually streamlines any training issues, and it improves your OEE and other KPIs such as right first time and on time and in full. So if you are not doing this, your competition is doing this and you're staying behind. Number two, the best chatbots are not the same as the co-pilots that you have seen already. So we're not talking about Microsoft Office Copilot, none of that stuff, because that stuff talks to your static documents. And we're talking about communicating with real-time data. There's a big difference. And what's even more important is that the best AI chatbots have AI agents built in. And those AI agents scrutinize your data even when nobody's chatting with them. So this is a huge deal, and that's the point number two. You have to get this, but be mindful that this is not the same as your generic copilot. Point number three, the cost of all this is not that high actually. So best of the breed AI chatbots give you subscription terms that range anywhere from a few thousand a year to maybe 10 or more thousand a year. And that should be something most manufacturers are able to afford. But there are actually three components in the cost. So whatever this technology is, whoever you get it from, it's not going to break your bank. But then you're also going to pay subscription to the large language models, to companies like OpenAI, Microsoft for Microsoft Azure, Google for Gemini, all of those. I am using those technologies right now, and I can tell you that in February, I have spent 57 million tokens, and the charges are very low. They are less than $100 low. So yes, there is that additional cost, but every month, the cost of the large language models is going down. So as you're thinking about this, the unknown, the uncertainty about subscribing to those services will definitely not break your bank. The third component in the cost topic is the integration services. We are happy to work with any clients that work with our technology to integrate the chatbot. And our mission is not to charge an arm and a leg. So we're talking about working at a standard hourly rate, and that hourly rate starts at $185, which is a full price, $185 an hour. And then it goes down depending on how big the manufacturer is. So if it's a smaller manufacturing shop, we provide discounts so that these smaller companies can actually afford this, right? And then think about typical engagement. When we're starting things out, you might spend around $20,000 or $30,000 depending on how detailed you want to go with this. From like a very basic installation for $5K to something that involves us sitting down and talking to your people in a few iterations. Yes, think 20, 30 grand to get going with this. So it's not huge money. There is huge potential in this. You should not be worried that the costs are going to be prohibitive. Point number 4, you have to go digital. So I cannot reiterate this enough. You have to embark on digital transformation if you have not done so already. This is important because AI can help your people at the plant a lot, but it can only do so if you go digital. What does this mean? It means whatever you're doing on paper today or in Excel, there's a lot of this Excel where people think, oh, it's kind of digital. Well, it's not. It's digital paper, if you will. A lot of people are able to put in whatever they want in your spreadsheets. And that's not the way of the future. So you have to go digital. That means your data and your day-to-day processes have to be in the systems. It doesn't matter what systems, as long as that data can be retrieved one way or the other. And point number 5, prepare your workplace. So we've had these discussions with plant managers at the Prove It conference, and they were asking, what can we do? And we'll talk more about this. But you need to go back and look at what you have documented. So I see it very frequently where you get to a tour of the site, and then you start asking about, okay, Joe is doing this, Bob is doing this. What of this that they're doing is actually tribal knowledge just in their heads? What of this is in the standard operating procedures? And we frequently find that at best, there may be 1 or 2 areas where the documentation is decent. But the other areas, other production lines, if you will, have like 1-page documentation, just 1 page. Think about that. If you were to teach AI to help your people that actually work on that production line, it's mind-blowing. What is it going to infer from that 1 page? Probably not very much. So you need to get your people to look at what is documented and what's not documented, and get stuff documented, right? And then, of course, we got to talk about the terms, the terminology that is used in your facilities. So whether you're recording stuff on paper and calling it cryptically, like V100, and then somebody records a value. It might be Valve 100, but if a person who is not familiar with the setup of your plant doesn't know that, AI won't know it either. So in cases where you have this kind of cryptic naming, you have to have a dictionary of terms prepared. I've actually seen companies that have those kinds of documents. They might be a little outdated, but it's not something outlandish that I'm asking for. There are companies that have this. So you have to have the ability to bring a new person from the street that you just hired and give them something to say, here are all the different things that we're tracking, and by the way, here's what they mean. And if you have that, the AI will be able to help you. So what I just said, number 1 was you must get the latest and best of breed AI chatbots in front of your people. If you don't do it, you're losing the opportunity. Number 2 was AI chatbots, the best AI chatbots, are not the same as your co-pilots. Very important difference there. Number 3 was the cost. The cost is not prohibitive. We are not talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars. We're talking about a few $1,000s for base subscription and starting with something like $20K for implementation. Number 4 was you got to go digital. If you haven't started your digital transformation journey yet, you have to start it. Otherwise, you're missing out big time. And number 5, you got to prepare your workplace. You got to document stuff. If it's not documented, AI cannot help you. So get going. Ask your people today, what needs to be documented? If you hire that young kid from the street and say, okay, he's going to intern here, and he needs to understand what are all the things that we're tracking. That's a good start. Do that. See how much that kid understands. Maybe that kid should point out all the things that are totally unclear, and then the experienced guys will help collect the information and get it written down. That's your start right there. Those are the 5 things every plant manager needs to know now.